This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
All right. So welcome. Today I am going to talk about all about OS2's apprenticeships. We are known for, kickstarting coders' careers. And if that's probably what we're most known for. And so today I'm going to discuss how we do that, why we do that, in the way about we go about doing it. So this is all about boot camps, practicums, and apprenticeships. So these are the things that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about the different options that you have or that we offer. A very critical thing that we've learned this season when we were doing our preseason training, and while we adjusted the way that we do things, we're going to go more into depth about our apprenticeship program and some very significant key takeaways if you are considering coming to OS2 as an apprentice. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive straight in about our apprenticeship program. We do offer an apprenticeship program. In order to work for OS2 Healthcare Solutions, which is the medical coding firm, you have to complete a prerequisite from OS2 OS2U Training Development Center, which is the HCC mock project. I'm gonna go into detail what that is, but that is a prerequisite if you are looking for an apprenticeship. And you also have to have your CRC. Now, you don't have to necessarily attend our boot camp, but if you really like the way that we train, you're probably going to want to come to our boot camp. The apprenticeship is paid. You will get paid while you're in the apprenticeship program. It is paid per chart, so it's an eat what you kill methodology. So that is something to consider if in fact you're looking for an apprenticeship. You do have to complete 100 charts per week, and your QA score has to be about an average of 93%. Now we do, and so if you're wondering like why we're saying 93%, it's because we already have a group of tenured coders to kind of make sure that our overall clients production quality score is higher, like at 95%. And we also have some different methodologies in place to kind of ensure that at the end of the month or whenever their metrics are measured, then they're at 95%. But the most important thing to understand about the apprenticeship program is that you have to be available for 2 MRA sweep seasons, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, why? Why isn't it part-time? Or why can't you adjust your schedule? Or why? I'm gonna get more, when I go over our courses, then you're going to understand why. But for the most part, if you are in fact even coming to us, it's probably because you couldn't find a job elsewhere. Not to say you can't, but you were having challenges finding that job. If you paid attention to the requirements, you see that everyone's looking, well, not everyone, but most people are looking for, or most employers are looking for 2 years of experience. So if you're going to be a part of the apprenticeship program, we didn't want it to be something where, you go through it and you spend 6 months with us and you still, at the end of the apprenticeship program, you still have the same problem. You don't have enough time in service or, time in employment in that instance in order to actually get your foot in the door. I'm going to talk a little bit about what MRA sweep season is. So MRA stands for Medicare Risk Adjustment. Another thing about OS2, our niche seems to be in risk adjustment, and that's where our apprenticeship program lies. We are specifically in retrospective risk adjustment. I'm not going to get into that right now, what retrospective is, but it is seasonal. Our season typically starts in May, and then it ends around January 31st. So that's what we mean by season. So it's 2 of those seasons that you have to commit to the apprenticeship program if in fact that you're interested in joining our program. We do have another option. It's called student-only status. Now, the student-only status are for those coders who where the apprenticeship program, the requirements for it is just not a good fit for them. Maybe they are, you know, maybe their current job pays them more than what the pay per chart would offer them. But they still want the on-the-job experience, the hands-on experience during the practicums to at least be able to pass an entrance exam somewhere else. Maybe they're currently working for a health system that has a risk adjustment program, and they just need the confidence to be able to pass the test, the placement test. That's actual charts, not scenario based. So the student only status best suits that group of individuals. So we have 3 different options, 2 practicums and 1 exam prep. The HCC Basics is the qualitative practicum. It is highly recommended. It is not required if you want to be in the apprenticeship program, but it's highly recommended. We have the HCC Mock Project, which is a production practicum, which is required. The CRC Bootcamp is the exam prep training, which is suggested. You don't have to take it, but you're probably going to want to. So let's get more into HCC Basics and what is it? It is a qualitative practicum, as I mentioned before. It's in a simulated coding environment that focuses on research, resources, and coding critical skill development. If you haven't heard this before, one of the things that is oftentimes kicked around in the risk adjustment industry is called coder judgment. This course is going to be designed to help you build or to be more confident in understanding your coder judgment. And so why do we build this? Now, we used to call our practicums pre-season training, but because we split it up, we felt as though we needed to give it a new name, a new face. But why did we do that? So this year, when we did the mock project, we learned 58% of the students that joined our program completed it at 80% at the end of the training, but only 33% met the production and quality goal. So why do you think that is? After doing a deeper assessment, what we learned is that oftentimes too much time has elapsed since coders practiced the art of coding and required a coding refresher. The mock project was not and is not designed to teach coders the basics of coding, or even, what is a combo code and how to do that. It's more so how to be job ready, on the job training, not coding fundamentals. Okay. The coders who took an accelerated course or had with multiple attempts to pass the exam struggled in that environment. So we created the HCC Basics to be able to take a slower approach to dissect what their areas of weakness are, to be able to make them more successful. Another thing that we learned is that students oftentimes lack time management and discipline to work in a remote environment. A lot of people want to work from home, and we can understand why you would want to, but you have to be disciplined in order to work from home. So let's talk about who the instructor is. So this is VANESSA, and she is she's actually going to be the HCC Basics instructor. One of the things that's great about all of our instructors are that every last one of them, all of the practicum instructors are our project leads. Why is that great? The reason why that's a good thing, especially for students, is that project leads that are currently working in the project are looking at charts every single day. And they're looking at different coders' approaches on coding, probably the same types of diagnosis. So what does that mean for you? That means that your project lead is very skilled in the way of explaining things different ways until you understand it. Have you ever attended a course and you found out that you did something wrong and they give you this canned rationale, and even after you get the rationale, you still don't know what you did right or wrong? That's the great thing about a project lead, you know, um, teaching your course. Because our project leads teaches our practicums, we are only offering these practicums once a year. So this is Vanessa, and she trains and she's going to be the HCC Basics instructor. Now, who is HCC Basics ideal for? If you answer yes to one or more of these questions, then you probably are going to want to sign up for HCC Basics before you attempt the HCC mock project. Remember what I said earlier, HCC Basics is recommended, but HCC mock project is required. So if it's been more than 6 months since you passed your exam and you haven't been coding, then yes, you want to consider the HCC Basics. If you earn less than 90% on your certification exam, then yes, you want to take HCC Basics. If it took you multiple attempts to pass the exam, then yes, you want to take HCC Basics. If you have not been actively coding, or if you're currently coding and you're having quality challenges with your current employer, you want to take HCC Basics. Or if you took an accelerated coding course, then you want to take HCC Basics before attempting the HCC mock project. So let's talk a little bit about what is required, or what are the details associated with it. The tuition cost is $500. You will earn 40 CEUs, I think, which is more than enough than what you would need to earn to report annually to your certification, and for your certification requirements, and you're able to report those both to AAPC and AHEMA. The supplies that you're going to need is a computer with at least 2 monitors. If you can put 3 or 4 monitors on your desk, put 3 or 4 monitors on your desk. You're going to have a lot of things open, and the more monitors, the better. But we certainly recommend at least 2. You would need your current ICD-10, the current year ICD-10, and the previous year ICD-10 CM manual. So if you're joining in 2021, you're going to need 2020 and 2021 coding manuals, and you're going to need reliable and fast internet. Again, we only offer HCC Basics, all of our practicums, as a matter of fact, once a year. It'll be in January. It'll start January, I think the 5th in 2021, and sometime in mid-March. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we have all of our courses actually structured. So if you're currently working, then you're able to, be able to meet the course, be able to attend the course without having to flex your schedule. So now let's talk about the HCC mock project. Again, the HCC mock project is a required course if you want to be considered for the apprenticeship program. It's also known as Preseason Training 2, hence the reason why we changed the name. So it's because it's too confusing, and the only people who know what preseason training means are those that are inside the OS2 workspace. It is a production practicum designed to combine coding quality skills in a production environment. This course is designed to teach coders workspace organizations, EMR and coding portal navigations, and other production best practices. Let's see. I'm actually going to take a break, and I am going to show you our coding portal. Lord, I hope I show you something that you don't need to see, but let's see if I can find me a chart. Oops, I think I can. So this is when we say an actual simulated environment, this is what we mean. You probably won't be looking at it this way. I'm gonna look for I'm gonna look for this coder who probably had a bad score. So this is what we mean by simulated coding environment. If you're actually working in a when you're actually in a live project, working for a facility or working for a project, they're going to have coding portals, they're going to have, of course, charts, and they're going to have encoders. So one of the things you'll be introduced is this is our simulated version of a coding portal. Here's where you open the chart. All the charts are redacted. You see, you don't see any patient information. All of that is gone, right? And then here is where this is an actual chart, and what we teach you during this course is how to navigate this, how to analyze, how to assess this chart, where to go to find coding information, to abstract coding information in different chart types, such as radiology reports or inpatient records, or what to throw away and what not to throw away, right? So this is a chart, and this is what our coding portal looks like. So after you code the chart, then you'll get feedback from your auditor. Here, your auditor, if you can see on the left-hand side, you see the auditor tells if it's a coding error or flag error, what they did right or wrong, and then you get your QA comment. And the coder also has an opportunity to rebut, submit a rebuttal if they don't agree with what the auditor is saying, and then we have someone else to review to see whether or not who's right or wrong. So this is what we mean by a simulated coding environment. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about the instructor. This guy here is Scott Smith. He's also a project lead. Unlike my other project leads, he only has one certification. And the reason why he only has one certification, to let him tell it, is because he's so passionate about risk adjustment. He doesn't want anyone to be confused that he wants to do fee-for-service coding. But Scott, he, just like many of you who decide to join the program, actually started here at OS2. He is very instrumental at OS2 because that simulated coding environment that you saw, he was the one who built it. He is a veteran. He is also a former business owner, and he certainly is passionate about training coders and adopting best practices to kind of figure out things. He's definitely a puzzle wizard. He really likes solving problems. So who is ideal for the HCC mock project? If it has been if it's been less than 6 months, then yeah, go ahead and take the HCC mock project. If it's been less than 6 months since you passed your exam, then yeah, you can probably do the mock project without HCC basics. If you scored 90% or higher on your certification exam, then yeah, you probably could skip HCC basics. Of course, if you completed HCC basics, then of course, you should go ahead and do the mock project. If you're currently an active medical coder and you're just looking for guidance, you're just probably interested in a student-only status, then yeah, you can do the HCC mock project without the basics. That's something, it just really depends on what you need, what type of hands-on experience you need. We've also learned that healthcare professionals such as nurses and techs, they seem to do very well in the HCC mock project without basics, and it could be because they're used to navigating charts, and they don't have to learn as many components of coding than someone who has absolutely no experience. But then again, that's a theory of mine. I'm not quite sure. Flexible, you have to be. If you're flexible and you have time management skills, now let me explain to you what I mean by that. So if you have flexibility in your day or in your work, that then you probably would be okay in just going into HCC mock project. And let me be more specific. I'm gonna give you some scenarios, what we learned last year. If you're currently working full-time and you're the primary brand winner, and you have other obligations outside of work, whatever those obligations may be, whether it's a sick parent, whether it's small children, whether it is working on getting an advanced degree somewhere where your time, where you don't have a lot of free time, then those individuals that did HCC mock project alone did not pass at all, because they were trying to learn too much. If you are the type of person that waits until the last minute to do something, because you know who you are. I mean, you know how you kind of manage your time. If you wait to the last minute, HCC mock project is not going to work. You want to definitely go to HCC basics. And that's what I mean by if you are able to be flexible in time management. Now, let's just say you don't work, if you're not employed, and you're able to, and maybe you didn't complete, maybe you didn't score higher than 90%, but if you're able to like literally devote the time that's required to the project or to the course, then you may be more successful than others. But I probably still wouldn't chance it, because again, we only offer this course once a year, meaning that if you don't pass HCC mock project and you were looking to do the apprenticeship program, you won't have another opportunity until 2022. Why? Because our instructors are our project leads, right? Our practicum instructors are our project leads, and we can't burn both ends of the stick here. So we only offer it once a year. And of course, if you're interested in the apprenticeship program, then you definitely want to take the mock project. The details about the mock project are the same as the basics. The only difference is when we're offering it. We will offer the mock project only in March, and it's 10 weeks, and it's 10 weeks, and it ends in May. So the CRC Bootcamp. The CRC Bootcamp is, just as simple as I can put it, it's an exam prep course for the CRC exam. As I mentioned before, the CRC is a requirement in order to be a part of the apprenticeship program, and we offer that for those, who is just looking for, an exam prep course. Now, here's our instructor, Miss Monica Walker. Doesn't she look like Miss Santa Claus in this picture? Doesn't she like oozes like sugar cookies and milk? She looks like Miss Santa Claus, like really. Which is great, because she is definitely the mother of boot camp instructors, because in 2019 she had a 100% pass rate, and in 2020 so far she has a 94% pass rate. She's very passionate about her students, and she stays on top of them. One of the reasons why I think our success rate is so high, and possibly the reason why we had that one person that didn't pass, is because of the way that we designed our curriculum flow. Excuse me. So typically how it works is you have your practicum, and then you'll go into your boot camp. Now, if you do the thing about the CRC exam, it is 80% coding scenarios. What are our practicums about? It's actually just coding charts. So you're building muscle memory as to how to analyze charts. So 80% of the core of the exam is one. So when you go to Monica, what you're focusing on are your areas of weakness, and understanding theory in risk adjustment theory. By no means is it a fundamental course, but it's definitely test-taking strategies and ways to help boost your confidence. So who is the ideal candidate for the CRC Bootcamp? If you've attempted it before and you didn't pass, then definitely you want to take the bootcamp. If you suffer from test anxiety and you need tips and strategies to boost your confidence, certainly take the bootcamp. And if you want to join the apprenticeship program with OS2, then the bootcamp is right for you. The tuition is $250. It's 16 CEUs. The supplies are not included in the tuition, and you want to go ahead and you would do what you certainly want to order your supplies are separate. You would need your AAPC membership. You would need your current CRC study guide, your current year ICD 10CM, your CRC exam voucher, highlighters, and tabs. Now, before you purchase any supplies, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is, if you're interested, wait until Black Friday in November to get any of your AAP supplies, AAPC supplies. Why? Because that is when they have the biggest sale of the year, and oftentimes things are half off and that kind of thing. So you want to wait until then. If if for whatever reason, that's not something that's, in your cards right now, and you want us to provide your supply, I mean, if you want us to use our discount, we are PMCC and licensed instructor with AAPC, so we're able to get them at a deeper discount than what your typical membership will give you. CRC Bootcamp, we're going to have one in May and one in August. It is 4 weeks, but we only meet one day a week, and it's either going to be a Monday or Tuesday, and it's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here are ways to pay. You can, of course, self-pay, and if you need a payment plan, you can certainly, we can certainly have a payment plan, set up one for you. Just reach out to Taryn and she'll help you with kind of arranging what you want. However, the caveat to that is that it has to be paid before the start of the class. So if you want to do a payment plan, then you can do it. You can just reach out to her. If you are a military spouse, then we do accept payments from MyCAA. If you unemployed or underemployed, we are a Department of Labor approved apprenticeship program, and your state, and your local workforce solutions may be able to cover the costs for your program. The cost of your prerequisites to be considered for the apprenticeship program. And then of course, there's always PayPal credit or other credit avenues. So I want to talk about pairing our courses, just to kind of make sure that you're extremely successful. As I mentioned, we only offer this once a year. So we want to make sure that you're in the best position to take advantage of the apprenticeship program. First is the HCC Basics. Again, it's a qualitative practicum ideal for inexperienced coders to be reintroduced to coding guidelines and risk adjustment resources while coding a smaller sample of redacted charts. The HCC Mock Project is a production practicum for novice coders to utilize those qualitative skills that they learned in HCC Basics to meet the production requirements of your current or your future employer. And then finally, the CRC Bootcamp, which is an exam prep course to assist with taking the CRC exam. So how do you join? First thing you do is you schedule a career advisory session. One of the things that people don't recognize is that OS2U is a nonprofit school, it's nonprofit, and we are not here to build numbers. I'm not a coding warehouse, I would like to say. So that's the reason why, if you kind of pay attention to our curriculum is designed for career development instead of just earning a certification. And so the reason why I like to have career advisory sessions is because I want you to understand what you can get from us, but I also want to make sure that your goals are aligned with what we do. Okay, and if it's not, I don't have any problem with talking with you and referring you somewhere else and helping you to reach those goals, even though it's not us. So that's the reason why I do career advisory sessions, because I would hate for you to have to invest $500 or however much and to only find out that we are not a good fit. We are a Texas Workforce Commission school, so unfortunately we have to have you complete forms. I hate it. Most people hate completing forms, but you do have to do an enrollment form after you decide that you want to join. Of course, you need to pay your tuition and make sure you order your supplies. So things to take into consideration if in fact you want to do the apprenticeship program. We only have 100 seats per year. 100, that's it, and we only offer the practicums once a year. You have to make sure that you're registered and paid your course 2 weeks prior to the start date. And if you're looking to be in our apprenticeship program, it's based on your performance in your mock project and earning your CRC credential, and you have to be available full-time for 2 peak seasons or sweep seasons. I'm not sure what term that you're used to, but both of them are synonymous. but you have to be available for 2 peak seasons. Here's the way that you can contact us. Here's the phone number. This information goes directly to Taryn, who's our education coordinator. And then if you want to talk to me, then you'll sign up you go to our advisory session and you can sign up on our website. Or if you're on LinkedIn, I'm pretty active there. You can, reach out to me on LinkedIn. And that is the information about the 2021 apprenticeship program, our practicums, boot camps, and all of that. So I'm gonna stop recording.